Did you know that nearly half of all heart attacks come with warning signs that go unnoticed? It's like standing on the edge of a cliff without realizing the ground beneath you is crumbling. But here's the thing, heart attacks don't strike out of nowhere. Your body tries to warn you, sometimes in whispers and sometimes with alarm bells. The question is, are you paying attention? Think about it, have you ever felt an odd pressure in your chest and brushed it off as indigestion? Or ignored that creeping fatigue because you figured it was just a bad week? You're not alone. Millions of people live with subtle symptoms that could be their heart begging for help. Ignoring these signs doesn't just cost you peace of mind, it could cost you your life. But don't panic, this isn't about scaring you, it's about empowering you. When you understand the early symptoms and take action, you're not just avoiding a crisis, you're building a life of resilience, balance, and vitality. And the best part? The steps to do this are simpler than you think. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to watch for and how to respond like a pro. So, are you ready to discover how to stay one step ahead of heart disease? Let's dive in, because what you learn today might just save your life tomorrow. First up, we'll tackle one of the most overlooked signs, chest discomfort. Trust me, it's not as obvious as you think. When it comes to your heart, the smallest discomfort can mean a lot more than you think. Imagine sitting on the couch, scrolling through your favorite app, and suddenly feeling a slight pressure in your chest. It's not sharp or overwhelming, so you brush it off, thinking it's just something you ate. Sound familiar? That mild sensation could be your heart's subtle way of waving a red flag. Don't ignore it, it's not worth the gamble. Now, think about a time when you pushed through minor pain because it wasn't that bad. Maybe it was during a workout, or when you were busy chasing deadlines. Mild chest discomfort often feels like no big deal, but it's your body's quiet alarm. Try tracking when these sensations happen. For example, does it flare up during exercise or after eating a heavy meal? Jot it down. A small notebook or even a health app could help you connect the dots before it's too late. Some people might dismiss the idea of seeing a doctor for just a little chest pressure. But here's the thing, early intervention can be a lifesaver. Studies show that catching heart issues early significantly increases the chances of recovery. So, what can you do? Schedule a routine checkup, even if you think you're perfectly healthy. Prevention beats emergency room visits every single time. And hey, let's talk about prevention for a second. Your lifestyle plays a huge role. Eating a balanced diet rich in whole grains, leafy greens, and lean proteins can work wonders. Pair that with regular exercise like brisk walking or light jogging, and you're already ahead of the game. Oh, and don't forget mindfulness, it's amazing for reducing stress, which is a major culprit in heart problems. Speaking of stress, what if there's more going on beneath the surface? Let's dig into that next. Let's face it, feeling tired is pretty normal these days, right? But there's a big difference between being tired after a long day and feeling absolutely drained for no reason. Imagine waking up after a full night's sleep, yet struggling to get out of bed because your energy is completely wiped out. Unexplained fatigue, especially in women, isn't just about being overworked. It could be your body's way of saying, hey, your heart needs attention. Think of fatigue as a smoke alarm for your health. Sure, it might be caused by stress or a poor night's sleep, but when it lingers for weeks, it's time to dig deeper. Have you noticed a pattern? Like feeling exhausted after climbing stairs or walking short distances. That's not just tiredness, it's a clue your heart might not be pumping efficiently. A practical step? Start a simple journal. Track your energy levels throughout the day, noting what you eat, your activity levels, and when you feel most tired. Patterns often reveal answers. Here's the kicker, ignoring this kind of fatigue can lead to bigger problems. Research shows that fatigue is often the first sign of cardiovascular trouble, especially in women. So, what can you do? Start small. Incorporate foods that boost your energy naturally, like oatmeal, bananas, and nuts. Also, Ditch the habit of reaching for that extra cup of coffee. It's a quick fix, but it won't solve the underlying issue. Instead, prioritize restorative activities like yoga or meditation to reduce stress and improve blood circulation. And don't underestimate the power of routine health checkups. A simple blood test or a chat with your doctor about your fatigue can uncover early warning signs. It's all about staying ahead of the curve. Speaking of signs, there's one that's even harder to ignore: shortness of breath. Ever wonder how that fits into the picture? Stick around, and you'll see just how connected it all is. You know that feeling when you're climbing a flight of stairs and suddenly you're gasping for air like you just ran a marathon? Sure, it's normal if you've been skipping workouts, but if it happens during everyday activities, like walking to the mailbox or standing in line at the grocery store, it's time to pay attention. Shortness of breath isn't just about being out of shape, it can be a sign your heart is struggling to keep up. Here's a relatable example. A friend of mine started noticing he couldn't walk his dog around the block without stopping to catch his breath. He chalked it up to aging, but after some nudging, he went for a checkup. Turns out, his heart wasn't pumping efficiently, and he needed treatment to prevent further complications. So, if you're feeling winded too easily, don't brush it off. Keep an eye out for patterns. When does it happen, and how long does it last? What can you do if this sounds familiar? Start by improving your cardiovascular health. Small steps make a big difference. Try adding 20 minutes of light exercise into your day, like walking, biking, or even dancing around the house. And don't underestimate the role of a heart-friendly diet. Salmon, avocados, and leafy greens are your best friends here. The better your heart functions, the easier it'll be to breathe deeply and freely. But remember, prevention isn't just about lifestyle changes, it's about taking action when you notice these symptoms. If you're struggling to catch your breath more often than not, it's time to schedule an appointment with a healthcare provider. They can run tests to check how well your heart and lungs are working. And speaking of symptoms that are easy to miss, have you ever thought about how nausea, jaw pain, or cold sweats fit into the picture? Let's uncover the mystery behind those next. Not every warning sign of a heart problem screams emergency. Sometimes, the signals are so subtle that they get dismissed as something minor. Ever felt nauseous out of the blue or broke into a cold sweat while sitting still? Or maybe you've experienced pain in your jaw or back that didn't seem to have a clear cause. These might not seem heart-related at first, but they can be crucial clues that your body is trying to tell you something. Let's break it down with an example. Picture someone feeling lightheaded while doing a task as simple as making coffee. They shrug it off, blaming dehydration or skipping breakfast. A week later, they're hit with a heart attack they never saw coming. Don't let that be you. If symptoms like nausea, dizziness, or odd pains keep cropping up, it's your cue to act. Keep track of these occurrences, write them down with dates, times, and what you were doing. That log might just save your life. So, what's the game plan if you start noticing these signs? First, listen to your body. Don't rush to self-diagnose on Google or rely on over-the-counter meds to fix things. Instead, focus on boosting your overall health. Start with mindfulness practices like deep breathing or meditation to calm your nervous system. Pair that with a heart-healthy diet rich in omega-3s and whole foods, and you're already giving your body the support it needs. Of course, the ultimate step is consulting a doctor. Sometimes, unusual symptoms are your heart's way of waving a red flag, and a professional can help decode the signals. Early detection could make the difference between a quick intervention and a major health crisis. Speaking of listening to your body, how do you know when it's time to act? That's where we're headed next, learning to tune into your body's language and taking charge of your health. Your body is always talking, you just need to tune in. Think about it, how many times have you felt off but ignored it because you were too busy or thought it wasn't a big deal? Maybe it was that lingering fatigue, that slight chest discomfort, or even those cold sweats you brushed off as stress. These little signals aren't random, they're your body's way of waving a warning flag. The key? Learn to recognize the patterns before it's too late. Here's a practical way to start listening. Create a daily health journal. Every evening, take 5 minutes to jot down how you felt that day. Note anything unusual, like shortness of breath or unexplained aches. Over time, you might spot trends that could give you a head start on addressing potential issues. It's like being your own health detective, simple, but incredibly effective. Now, let's talk about action. Listening to your body doesn't stop at noticing symptoms, it's about responding to them. For instance, if you're feeling more fatigued than usual, consider adding foods rich in iron and B vitamins to your diet. Spinach, eggs, and lentils are great options. Or, if stress is creeping in, carve out time for activities that help you decompress, like yoga or even a walk in the park. Small, consistent actions can make a huge difference in how you feel. And remember, you don't have to figure it out alone. Consulting a healthcare professional can provide clarity and peace of mind. They'll help you understand what's normal for your body and what's not. The sooner you act, the better your chances of avoiding serious health issues. But what's even more important than early action? It's knowing the symptoms that demand immediate attention, and how to prevent them altogether. Let's explore that in the next steps. Now that you know what to watch for, what's stopping you from taking action? Remember those subtle warning signs: chest discomfort, unexplained fatigue, shortness of breath, and unusual symptoms? They're not just random inconveniences, they're your body's SOS signals. Ignoring them could mean putting your health, and your future, on the line. But here's the good news: you're already ahead of the game. By learning these signs and making small, consistent changes, you've taken the first step toward a healthier, stronger you. Imagine living a life where you feel energized, in control, and confident about your well-being. That's not just a dream, it's within your reach. So, what's your next move? Start tuning into your body. Write down those symptoms, schedule that overdue doctor's appointment, or try that heart-healthy recipe you've been eyeing. Small steps today can lead to life-changing results tomorrow. And remember, you're not alone on this journey, we're here to guide you every step of the way. If this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't miss out on tips that could transform your health forever. Your heart deserves it, and so do you. Let's build a life of balance, vitality, and joy together.